I did every drug ever put in my face, so I'm not perfect either. But there was this one Halloween, however, and it was the one that bothered me most. My mother thought I looked so adorable in this pumpkin costume. It wasn't the costume I wanted, nor asked for, but after several silent tantrums, I realized I had to wear it or there'd be no candy. So I put the stupid orange ball on over my head, just knowing the other kids were never going to let me hear the end of it. Serious nerd alert. Like, as an adult, I can see how a 7-year-old might be real cute dressed as a pumpkin. I get it. Adorable. My mom had finally found some of her own friends, and her own friends with children near my age, and their stay-at-home Army wife mother agreed to watch me for free. This was a complete blessing for my mother, at least. I hated those bastards, though. I must have been 6 by this time because I was older than their youngest son, and I remember him being about 5. But the parents, Chris and Renee, were a youngish married couple in the military. I wanted to like them, I just couldn't figure out how to. Because they were very annoying. They had this kind of uppity attitude, like they were better than everyone else because they served the country. Like, fuck you, you're black. This country doesn't care about you. I really wanted to see them fall off their high horse sometimes, but every now and again, Renee would do something nice, and I felt guilty for secretly praying for her family's demise. I feel bad because that was, like, really true. They also seemed like they took pity on my mother. Remember, I hate pity. My mother never really seemed to notice, though. It was like they could do no wrong. Neither could their children, Brooke and Chris Jr. I hated those fucking kids, but my mom always made friends with people whose children I could not stand and then forced me to be friends with them like they were my only friends. My mother had very strict rules on who I could hang out with, where, and when. She had to know their parents and blah, blah, blah. As an adult, I understand, but at the same time, it made no fucking difference. The same kids she approved of used to do really fucked up shit to me, like I was constantly tormented by them. Those kids were real life assholes. Their oldest daughter, Brooke, was the neighborhood bully. She was always punking her little brother, Chris Jr., and Chris Jr. and I because we were young. Honestly, she'd punk anyone that she could. I thought I liked her at first because she seemed so strong and bold, and frankly, she seemed cool. Then I realized she was just a big, sad brat who picked on everyone for no damn reason, and I no longer liked her, but I was stuck with her by then. Also, in hindsight, I realized it's because her dad was a bully. Anyway. Oh, wait, look, I added, I also think that Chris Sr. wasn't her biological father, which probably led to some of her unnecessary aggression and animosity. She definitely didn't seem to like him very much, but she damn sure feared him. We all did. He was, after all, a very militant man. He was very big on respect and discipline, so while we were in his presence, everyone was always on their best behavior. When he wasn't around, though, it was like the fucking Lost Boys. When we first met, they put a punctured condom on a stick and put it in a vase, and I didn't know what a condom was, so I thought it was some kind of dried out, sacky pickle. I mean, I didn't know. I only ate processed foods at the time, so I didn't know what an actual pickle slice looked like anyway. 7! Time for class! They gave me the vase and told me that if I wanted to play with them, I had to go door to door telling people I bought them flowers. I thought it was funny, being that it was a pickle skin, so I was extremely confused when someone was so offended she went to tell my mother. I learned what sex was from those kids that week. Never let children teach your children what you should teach them first. Those kids were evil. They taught me about... Oh, hold on. I don't know if I want to read that one out loud. Yeah, hold on. I forgot I gotta skip a bit. Out loud, anyway. I can't believe I put that in your fucking therapist, stupid bitch. Anyway, back to this Halloween as a pumpkin. By now, that family of jerks had moved out of our little apartment community into a big house on the Army base, and my mother would take me over to visit. As if they needed any more reason to be dickheaded, now they could say they lived in a big house and they had 2 parents and a better life than me overall. I hated visiting them, but one of those adults had the bright idea to let me come trick-or-treating with them. Really didn't like these people. I just saw an error. My bad. I really didn't like these people. No one ever really asked me what I wanted. So, I didn't really like these people, but no one ever really asked me what I wanted. So I arrived dressed as a dorky pumpkin, and of course they made fun of my costume, and they absolutely made every effort to ditch me all night. They walked faster than me, and they took shortcuts I didn't know about, and ran when they knew I couldn't, because these were the rules. Stay together at all times. Anyone caught leaving off on their own would get in trouble. So I tried really hard to keep up with them, but I also felt like, fuck them. I don't like them anyway, and I never could understand why they were so fucking mean to me. I mean, everything was a problem to them. My hair, my freckles, my clothes, the way I talk, the fact that I like to read. I mean, I was smart, and I never turned down an opportunity to share my knowledge, and I'm fully aware, as an adult, how much that irritates people. But I don't care now. Do better. Older kids in the neighborhood were starting to come out now as it was getting darker, so we hit our last few houses before heading back towards the house. I want to add something. Add to water. Good job, Mama. Where was I? We had finally finished when some dickhead teenagers walked up on us demanding that we hand over our candy. I had absolutely cleaned up that night, too. The cuteness was working for me until that group of teens stopped us. Anyway, this big dummy in the mummy costume lunges at us like he's going to steal our candy, and I, trying to be hard in front of my friends so I could hopefully earn their respect, didn't move. I honestly wasn't even scared. I thought he was just trying to scare us because what kind of world would we be living in if someone clearly too old to be trick-or-treating came outside to take candy from babies, to literally take candy from babies? Well, my so-called friends apparently knew what time it was because they took off running at top speed, leaving me alone and very vulnerable. He snatched my pillowcase, and I held on as tight as I could, basically being dragged by it. But I was not about to lose a good yield. I worked hard on this dumbass costume for candy. I earned it. I held on as tight as I could until he forcefully pushed me down, knocking the wind out of me. Hold on. Do you have the charger?
Yeah.
Go away. Go